So today, though, we're going to be focusing on some of the more important stuff, which is going to be that situational awareness, because we're going to be doing some crash reviews, and you need to know what the color code awareness stages are. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So right here, we got the goal for all of you rookies is you're going to be able to identify the MTC awareness stages. That's going to be huge when it comes to riding through intersections, going through curves. We're going to talk about that. Okay, you'll learn the white, yellow, orange, red, and brown stages. It's a pretty simple lesson. Okay, we're just kind of getting the introduction here. Excuse me. You'll be able to navigate each stage because it is fluid. You're changing from yellow, orange, red. Hopefully never red, but yellow, orange, orange, yellow, yellow, orange, back and forth, back and forth. Red is an emergency, which we'll be talking about. So this is me on the ride. When I'm riding around, I'm planning my ride. We'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later, especially during the crash stuff. But we got zoned out. Let's go ahead and make myself giant right here. So we got possibility of being zoned out. We got yellow stage here, orange, red, and brown. We're going to dive deep into these ones real soon. Here we go. We got white stage. Now, white stage, think about white stage as when you're sitting on the couch doing nothing. Okay, you're watching your favorite TV show. Moon Knight just came out yesterday with its season finale. You know, you be sitting there, you're watching everything, you're having a great time, completely unaware of things. You don't even know that your dog's taking a dump in the corner. You're so engrossed into the Moon Knight or whatever show that you're watching. Your white stage, think of it as you're sleeping, awake sleeping at that point. Highway hypnosis is a big thing when it comes to white stage. You know, you drive home from work and you don't even know how you went 10, 15, 20 miles. You're just daydreaming. That is zoning out. Motorcycle riders like to get on a motorcycle to zone out, to get away from life's terrible stuff that's happening. You know, you got to fight with a boss. You got to fight with yourself. You know, you don't like certain things about yourself, so you're getting upset. So you go for a ride. You want to zone out. That's not what we're here for. We want to meditate when we're zoned in, which is going to be that yellow stage. Anything that you're having to focus in, be in the moment, basically grounding yourself to reality at the moment. You're not thinking of the past. You're not thinking of the future. Thinking of the future is anxiety. Thinking of the past is depression. Things that you could have done or you should do. That's where you start to get into these crazy things. There's nothing you can really do in your mind. It's all about action. So when you're out riding on a motorcycle, you're in the moment. You're in action. You're in the action, not in action. You're in the action. You're focused on seeing if there's hazards, and you're really only thinking about 5 to 20 seconds at a time, 20 seconds ahead at a time versus 5 years, 10 years. What's your 4-year plan? What's going to happen next week? You're not thinking about that stuff. You're thinking about right now. And that's what yellow stage is. So you're mostly in yellow stage. If you're riding on the interstate long distance, you're pretty much in yellow stage most of the time unless you see something. When you're riding in town, you're going to be flipping and flopping between orange and yellow, yellow and orange. But the main thing here is that this is going to be the stage that you're typically going to be riding in. This should be your default stage. So start thinking about that. So orange stage, hey, how you doing, buddy? Orange stage is when you start to see something. Your gut's telling you, that's pretty interesting. What's going on? What's going on? Remember, your gut, your stomach area has a lot of neurons, actually. So think of it as almost your second brain. A lot of the dopamine that you produce in your body comes from your gut, not up here. So there's a lot of cool things that happen when it comes to your gut. You get that gut feeling, you get, what's going on? Then you use your cognitive portion of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, to be able to say, hey, let's think about it. What's going on? And the more practice you have, it's almost instant. And that's what we're trying to do here with these after action reviews. And that's what we're trying to do here now using color codes, because it's easy to remember colors and patterns versus, what is a Kia Sportage doing? Is that even a real vehicle? I don't know. But the thing is, here is orange stage. So the defaults here is going to be intersections, corners, and anytime you see the side of the vehicle, means it's a possible intersection in and of itself. Okay, it doesn't have to have lights to be an intersection. So default intersection, you see lights ahead, you see side of the vehicle almost on a side street, go into orange stage, be ready to act, cover your brakes, get ready to find that escape path, look for where you need to go, and hopefully nothing happens. And we're going to be talking about red stage after this. Orange stage, probably about 20% of your ride. Okay, every time you go in an intersection, orange stage. Every time you leave the intersection, go back to yellow. Relax, zone in again. Right here, red stage, no buenos. This is not going to be something that you really, really want to be in. But you know what? If this is reality. Things happen. Car pulls out in front of you. A little BMW right here wants to pull out in front of you. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You got to do something. If you don't do anything, inaction will cause you to crash. Inaction will cause you to get hurt. Inaction will cause you to do something that you did not want to do. So you're going to have to actually act. And this is where, when you zone in, you go into orange stage, you know your escape paths, you planned your ride, you know what you need to do. It's time to do it. Now, how do you do it? You know, that's the thing. Have you practiced your swerves? Have you practiced your emergency braking? Have you practiced anything? If you're just getting on the road and you know how to shift, you just know how, you know, the road rules, and you're just kind of cruising along, not really paying attention, something happens, you don't know what to do. And that's the whole point of being a smart rider, is being able to maintain your fundamental skills and actually go out there and practice, go out there and train like your life depends on it, because it really does. When something like this happens, you need to have that instinctual response of, boom, here we go. We're going to swerve. We're going to emergency brake. We're going to do this. I had to do that in California a couple weeks ago in a lane filtering incident where somebody pulled out in front of me instinctually. I applied some brakes to figure out what's going on, to reduce my speed, and then I had to swerve because I wasn't going to stop in time. So there's those things like that. So make sure you practice. You're actively engaged in emergency response. Now, this right here is like red stage, but not. When we talked about doing inaction, not doing anything, it turns into brown stage. Okay, you guys can figure out why it's brown. You got a little poo-poo in the pantalones, you got a little caca. You know, just little things like that. So that's why it's brown stage. You didn't do anything, or you did the wrong thing. You went into a panic. So when I talk about emergency swerves, emergency braking, progressive brake pressure, if you don't know what that is, that's what this is right here. You can pause it if you want. When you get into an emergency situation, somebody pulls out in front of you, you slam the brakes. Okay, when you do that, hopefully you have ABS. If you don't, you're going to lock up the tires, lose traction, and dump the bike. When you need to swerve, but you can't because you weren't planning your ride, you don't have any escape paths, you put yourself in a box, you're going to panic, you're going to screw up. If you just freeze because you target fixate on a vehicle pulling out in front of you or coming at you, you decide to just freeze and you go straight towards it, that's a brown stage. Rev bombing and not doing a single thing to get yourself out of the situation, it's a brown stage. So it's no buenos. It's not something you want to do. So when it comes to the review, let's go back to the very beginning here. So we got the white stage. We got zoned out. Okay, we're completely zoned out. You're asleep. Yellow stage, you're zoned in. You're meditating to the ride. You're focused. You're only thinking about 15 to 20 seconds ahead in time. You're not thinking about 2 days before. You're not thinking about even 10 seconds before. You're not thinking about 2 years ahead. You're not thinking about tomorrow. You're not thinking about next week. You're not thinking about what you're going to be doing at the destination. You're focused on the ride. You're zoned in. That's meditation. Try it for about 5 minutes. Just focus completely, and you're going to enjoy your ride even more. You're going to start seeing things that you never thought you could see. Orange stage, intersections, corners. Very simple. A lot of people fail to negotiate a corner, crash. A lot of people fail to see that left turner at an intersection or see the road surface hazards or anything at the intersection. Boom, crash. That's a huge thing when it comes to motorcycle fatalities. So default, orange stage, corners, intersections. Slow down before a corner. Prepare for left turn in an intersection. Red stage, something happens. Pull out in front of you, left turn, you got to swerve, you got to brake, you got to do something. Going into a corner a little bit too fast, you hopefully know how to trail brake. Should have been trail braking earlier. Should have been slowing down earlier. You just need to negotiate that curve as best you can. Hopefully you have gear. That's the whole point of being a smart rider, is that you're going to acquire and use gear just in case some of these things fail. Red stage, got to swerve. Got to get yourself out of there. You got to do something. Brown stage, you didn't do anything. So when it comes to all of these things, let's make sure that we're actually actively engaged in what we're supposed to be doing when we're out riding. If we're not, we're going to have a bad time. If you want to know more about this kind of stuff, all these slides and everything that we have, remember, this is the knowledge and skills that you're going to learn through this. These are your goals, and this is just Unit 1, Lesson 1 of the MTC Rider Academy. Thank you, Nightbot, for putting it out in the Chitty Chat chat. It's only $4.99. You get the drills, and you get the lesson, and you get not just the slides. You're not just getting the slides. You actually get me teaching it. I do exactly what I'm doing right now. It's a whole video lesson for 3+ hours.